Okay, hello. So here's my 2012 Hyundai Genesis. I've been having a problem. Some of you may have experienced this, where you go to the gas pump and you keep having the gas pump shut off on you. So I understand that in here there is a vent right here that takes a hose down into a canister that should be located in the trunk of the car, which we're going to get into in just a minute. And that vent allows air to flow and also captures the fumes into a charcoal canister. Now, if you've done any research on the internet at all, you'd probably have learned by now that what can happen is when you're topping off the vehicle, gasoline flows down that little vent hose and gets into the charcoal canister and causes the pellets in the charcoal canister to swell up and clog the system so that air can't flow, which causes the pump to keep shutting off. That's one of the reasons anyways. I'm not a mechanic or an expert. Anyway, so we go into the trunk of the vehicle and we're going to take off the floor carpet or floor mat here. And then there are two plastic screws on each side of this foam panel. So we're going to take those off. By the way, those are 14mm plastic nuts in there. And this side isn't moving. Got the other side off here, but this side is going to need a little pressure pulling on it while we unscrew it. Okay, so we got those nuts off by prying underneath and spinning them while we pry, because they're just cheap plastic. Now this is a great thing about the Hyundai. They put in like soundproofing all over the cabin to insulate the outside from the inside from the outside. So this is like a soundproofing foam. Also helps stop any squeaking and noise and rattling. It's just one of the many awesome features on the vehicle. So here we go. We're inside here. Very simple to get to. And if you look, there's 10, I don't know, I'm guessing those might be 10mm. I'll check. 10 bolts going around this metal panel that we're going to find underneath what we're looking for. Okay, so I was correct. Those are 10mm bolts, and they come right off here. You don't need to see me get all those off, but another nice thing about the Hyundai, these are little rubber dealy bobs all around, again, to help prevent squeaking or rattling. Nice little extra add-ons on the vehicle. Got a little hard to reach, so I put a piece of cardboard down. I can climb in there a little bit further and reach these bolts back here in the far back. Okay. After removing all 10 of those screws, which is kind of a bit of a deal, we're going to take this panel off. See what we got in here. Okay, so we have this here is the charcoal evaporative canister. This here is the fuel air filter, which is in the maintenance schedule, being replaced every 60 or 80,000 miles, I'm not sure. And this here is the purge valve for the canister. So we'll take a look at those more carefully in just a moment here. Okay, so like I was saying, here's the charcoal canister, evaporative canister. This is what I believe to be the purge control solenoid or purge valve, and this one here is the fuel air filter. These things work together from what I understand. I'm not an expert. Again, I'm not a mechanic. I'm just trying to learn things on the internet. By the way, this one's not from the vehicle removed yet. I haven't removed it. This is one I purchased on eBay. This here item runs anywhere, I think, from about $189 to $350, depending where you buy it. I think the dealer's about $350 or $379. This item is around 50 bucks, and this item's around 30 bucks. This, like I mentioned, is supposed to be a maintenance item that's replaced, I think, every 60 or 80,000 miles. It happens I just replaced mine recently, just coincidentally, and then I found out about my problem with the gas pumps always shutting off. I used to think it was just the gas pumps, but it happens at every pump at every gas station. I realized it was my car, and I researched it and found out that this charcoal canister can get clogged up from gas that's brought back in from when you're topping off the vehicle. So you could read up on that. Now, this was from eBay. I liked it because you get all three components. I'm not sure what component is failing on mine, so I get all three, although this is just newly replaced, so that shouldn't be failing. But it could be this solenoid, it could be this charcoal thing. There's also another part that it could be that I've researched, but I don't know where it is and where to find it. I like this one on eBay because it says that the vehicle had 28,000 miles when it was taken off the vehicle. This says it was from a Hyundai Equus, and I checked and they seem to be compatible with each other. They seem to be interchangeable. So the same part number when I researched it. So hopefully we won't find any problems with that when we go to install this one. It seems to be there's a bolt here and a bolt here that holds this whole assembly into place, and then these individual components come off separately. I'm going to try to attempt to take this whole thing that's mounted onto a steel plate. I'm going to try to take off the whole plate just like it was done on the car it was removed from on my vehicle, and replace this whole plate onto my vehicle by these two bolts. Unfortunately, as you saw in the trunk of the vehicle, this thing's like crammed in this little hole, and it's way bigger than the hole itself, and you really have to get under the car to get a hold of those two bolts I was showing you to remove this. So we're going to in a moment get under the vehicle, take a look around, loosen them up, and then try to wedge it out from this hole up above. As you know, with newer vehicles, there's so much going on in such a tight space. There's more and more parts and components, so it's really quite difficult to get to, but hopefully it's going to fix the problem. As you saw, we talked about this vent being an issue. We want to make sure that the vent hose is clear of any debris. I've heard that the charcoal pellets can get clogged up into that vent hose. Now that seems to come around into the car. I'm wondering if that might be it right there, that hose coming in. It's plastic and then rubber, and then it looks like it goes down possibly into the gas tank. I'm not sure. We're going to take a look under the car, but I'm wondering if that might be the vent hose that goes into the gas tank, and if there's not in fact another solenoid or some other component there that's involved with this. But we're going to get under and take a look. Okay, so here we are under the vehicle. We've got the drive shaft, right above the drive shaft on the passenger side. You can see here a bolt. Let me see if I can find it. You can see the canister. There we go. You can see the canisters there up above the, where are we? There's our bolt right there that we got to get to. It's like some white goop, maybe going to some electrical, and then there's a bolt, and you can see the bracket, black bracket here. It's way up there. I'm going to need an extension. And then the other side, it's on the other side of the, what do you call this, differential underneath. Drivetrain goes to it. On the other side over here, there's another bolt, and we'll get to that one. I think I'm going to move the car around to get under it better. Okay, so now here we are on the other side, and there's a couple of things we got to deal with here. One is try to get my light on it. There's a bolt and there's a hose. Let me see if I can turn the flash on my camera. Okay, got the light on the camera, so that might help a little. Okay, there's the hose we got to get off, and the bolt. So that's the hose and that's the bolt, and it's here just above the, like I said, there's a differential going to like the axle. Just above the axle is what we're looking at here. On the other side, now we're on the driver's side, the rear driver's side of the vehicle, and we're going to remove that clamp on that hose. Looks like a 1/2-inch hose or something. I have to get some pliers up there and remove that. And the other side was a 12mm bolt, so I'm assuming this is the same on this side. So there we go. We'll see what happens. Okay, so I got the bolts from underneath. Looks like it screws right into this here from underneath, and over here this one from underneath. 2 12mm bolts hold this thing together. Looks like there's a little hook on this side that you have to kind of get around. You can see when you're underneath the vehicle. They weren't easy to get to. I'm sorry, I'm doing this myself. I don't have a partner to take video for us, so you're getting the best you can get with me. But had to put long extensions on a ratchet to get to those, but we got them out. And I disconnected the hose on the left side that connects to the fuel air filter, I think is what it's called. Right there, disconnected the hose to that thing right there. Okay, we're gonna see if we can wiggle this thing out now. Guess I spoke a little too soon. Before we try to wiggle it out, we got a couple more hoses to disconnect. Let's see. Some clips and things it looks like here to disconnect. I'll have to look at the other one off the vehicle and see what we're doing. Okay, let's see. I realize I disconnected my hose from here off the vehicle. Would have been good to disconnect it from here to make sure there's no debris in the hose. But this is going to an air filter. I can't imagine there's debris coming through there. It's the charcoal filter. We're worried about getting debris coming through. Looks like we have disconnect this, and it disconnects with a little squeezy, and then disconnect this. Looks like some kind of a clip. I don't know how that clip works. It would be nice if I was aware how that clip works. Disconnect this, another clip, and looks like that's it. So let's see, we got a clip here. Maybe push on something and pull. Oh, I felt the snap. I'm gonna have to set this down. So, okay, so this one, just push on here and it snaps out. This one, I found this wire. It's like a pin that goes in and holds it together. Right here, it comes out of there, a little wire pin comes out, and then I don't know if it just pulls off. Let's see. That one looks like that. So there it goes, pops right off. You didn't get to see that probably, but it pops right off there with the pin coming off. Pulled straight out, looked like that was the way to do it. So those two things are disconnected, and then this one here, we squeeze the sides and pull it. There we go, and there's that. Looks like there's one more back here. This here needs to come disconnected here. It goes to this here. Can't tell what connects that. Looks like it's, I'll have to take a better look at it. Okay, looks like this thing here, the little white part on the top, and I think there's on the opposite side on the bottom, it's like a squeeze thing. It looks like if I squeeze those 2 points, pressure points, it'll allow this thing to pull off, this little clamp around the, like a hose clamp. Okay, so I was right. You push the 2 little white tabs and you can get that wiggled out. But then I noticed here, as I'm starting to pull it out, there's a little cable here that has a clip. Get the light on it. And that clip needs to be popped off so that that cable can get free to wiggle this thing out. Okay, so I see the 2 units are in fact identical, even though I ordered one that was for aqueous. So that's good. Moment of truth here to see, is there any debris coming out of this baby here, the charcoal canister? It doesn't look like it on this side. I was hoping that maybe I'd see debris and that would confirm that that was the problem. I'm going to take off the other side clamp here and take a look and see if there's anything there that could be causing trouble on this side here. And either way, we're going to put the other one in and see how we do. Now, since I just replaced this air filter recently, I'm going to go ahead and swap it out on the other one because it's brand new. Not that that should make any difference to my problem, but just because it is a maintenance item. Let's see what we got here. There's the hose that goes to the air filter, goes over to this other thing, goes up to the gas right there, air filter, and then this one goes, it says to the purge, and then it goes back. I don't know where, I have to get under the car to see, but this one here comes from the, it says to purge. Or no, this one, I'm sorry, this one here says to purge. This one goes to the tank. Yeah, to the gas tank. So everything there, that looks like everything that goes. This here, I think it's just a connector. I don't think it's any kind of a gizmo. I don't think it does anything. I think it just takes it from here and takes it to the other side. Okay, so the next thing I did was I did notice that the gas tank vent comes down here to this little elbow. I don't know if that component does anything or not, but I blew air from the gas tank through the elbow and out to the hose coming into this thing here. And all of those hoses are clear and free. So there's no clog in those hoses, which could be a problem. Now, I don't know if that thing there is some kind of component or if it's just an elbow, but we're going to be putting together, see what happens.